Ho ho ho, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. It is the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and today I'm back on this day, the holiest day of the year. I think so. But today it's not about religion, it's about religion and 40k. Today we are celebrating Sanguinala, the fall of our Primarch, Sanguinius. But as we recall the great deeds this Primarch once did, we will relive a battle between the angel and the demon, Sanguinius versus Ka-Banda, in this excerpt from the book Fear to Tread. So get some hot coffee, maybe some hot cocoa, sit down and enjoy the lore that I bring you today. He was a towering figure, a mythic form carved by light and forged from gold and crimson. Sanguinius stood over the Astarte, the angel's expression, that of a father, filled with all the conflicting emotions his soul could contain. Pride and sorrow, dread and elation, these and 100 more. "My lord," Kano whispered, afraid to believe it. He reached out to touch the Primarch's arm. This was indeed no vision. His fingers met sun-warmed ceramite, and for a moment, the greatest sadness weighed the angel's patrician face.
"You gave much to bring me back, my son. You paid a high cost."
"We did what we thought was right." He raised a hand to silence him.
"We'll speak of that, but not now."
He frowned.
"Where are your brothers, Kano?"
The legionary raised a weary hand and pointed towards the cathedral of the Mark. Sanguinius nodded gravely, his amber eyes surveying the wreckage around them with dismay.
"Look at what has been wrought here, set in motion by lies."
He stumbled back on his injured legs, his powerful wings unfurling to their fullest extent.
"I swear to you, it will go no further."
Kano's liege lord spared him a look, briefly placing a hand on his shoulder.
"Your battle today has been fought and won. Now, I will end this."
With a storm roar, the angel vaulted into the sky, drawing his great crimson sword as he rose. Polluted clouds broke, scattering away from him as if in fear of the Primarch, as he became a streak of golden fire, falling towards the Temple of Bones like a blazing comet. A single feather, pure and dazzling white, settled slowly at the deck near Kano's feet. Glassy matter and bone frames exploded into millions of fragments, the circular mandala window destroyed by the force of the angel's arrival. Sanguinius landed with a thunderous roar at his back, his wings rising in shimmering arcs of white, the shine of his battle armor as dazzling as the light of daybreak. A pure force of will radiated from him, magnificent and unending. The Primarch was at that moment the very antithesis of the shroud of hate and horror that had taken root on Cygnus Prime. It was as if the universe itself had decided to express its disgust at these demon things through his martial fury. Sanguinius rose like a golden storm, vengeance incarnate, the righteous power of a brother betrayed and a father wronged, crackling at his fingertips. Lightning swift, he surged forwards, the length of his crimson blade, greatsword lifting to cut the ashen dust. He did not turn to lay his gaze upon the goat-headed Kyrus, not even for an instant, yet Sanguinius' sword left his sand with a flick of his forearm, and it sang as it sliced through the air towards the pink-skinned demon. The tip of the blade pierced Kyrus' muscular guts with such force it ran right through him, slamming the beast back into the walls of the bone temple. The creature released a high-pitched, undulating scream as it struggled in place, pinned there by the full length of the sword, like an insect of curious nature captured for study. This was done on fleet foot, in the blink of an eye. The bloodthirster was already turning towards the angel, its execution of Captain Raudoran forgotten in the face of this new attack. Axe and lash flexed in brawny clawed hands as it squared up to meet him. Sanguinius crossed the yellowed tessellate of the chamber floor, the cheers of his noble sons echoing. Bloodletters baying for murder rushed to meet him, hellblades red as hate rebounding off of his armor. The Primarch gave them little heed, smashing them aside or crushing them to the ground with heavy swinging blows from his mailed fists. Ka-Banda spat and threw the arc of his whip out in a downward stroke. Sanguinius did not falter in his approach, his left wing snapping forward to cloak his face, meeting the barbed tip of the lash, blood jetting where the hook's deep bit. He hissed in pain, but shrugged off the assault, closing to point-blank distance, reaching for his enemy. The demon was ready, and the bloodthirster's other arm fell with the axe set to cleave the angel's skull clean in two. Sanguinius's hands came together in a strident crash of sound, catching the blade between them. For a brief moment, the two titans struggled against each other, eyes locked, muscles bulging.
"You came back,"
grated the demon.
My sons found me.
"That changes nothing, little angel."
The axe trembled, shifting back and forth. One mistake, and the blade would fall. Across the chamber, the impaled Kyrus bellowed over the sound of the angel's legionaries in battle with its foot soldiers. "Kill him!" Ka-Banda's tongue flicked.
"Your precious legion will be destroyed, Sanguinius. You cannot stop it. Even now, your chosen are caught in the depths of a killing rage. They cannot escape. It is too late. The poison is in them. You know that as well as I."
"Perhaps," hissed Sanguinius.
But they will not fall today. I will not permit it.
He bared his fangs in a snarl.
This ends now, demon.
In a wordless shout, the angel twisted his arms, his hands tearing at the strange grisly material of the axe head. A sickening crack broke the room like a snapping of a spine, and Ka-Banda's weapon shattered across its length, scattering pieces of shrapnel. Before the creature could react, Sanguinius grasped at the bloodletter's curved horns and jerked it forwards with all his might. The Primarch brought his fist to meet the beast's snout, and landed a flurry of quick blows from the knuckles of his gauntlet before Ka-Banda shoved him away. Spitting out gobs of black fuming blood and broken teeth, the demon growled.
"Look at you. Where is the noble angel now, abhuman? Better the sweet blood to smother you."
Ka-Banda's arm swung back, the brass cords of its whip scraping across the bone floor, flicking up into the air for another lethal blow, as powerful as the one that had struck down the angel upon the plains of the damned. Sanguinius reacted faster than the eye could follow. He flashed into the air, wings crackling, and caught the razored tips of the whip before they could reach him. The cords burned where they touched the ceramite, pennants of vapor issuing from beneath his armored fingers. The Primarch dove at the bloodthirster, dragging his lash down with him, and before the creature could react, pulled the whip into a loop across the howling monster's throat. Angel and demon collided, crashing to the floor. Ka-Banda released its grip on the lash, but it was too late. The brass cables pulled tight. Sanguinius gave the whip a violent tug, and the bloodthirster's howls became strangled, frenzied barks of pain. The beast tried to break free, swatting at the Primarchs, grasping at air, its bat-like wings unfurled, the talons at their tips scratching gouges in Sanguinius's armor. With cold and lethal precision, the Primarch arrested the wild, beating motion of one of the freakish wings with its free hand.
Only angels may fly,
he said darkly, tearing out the black pinion. The sound was like the splitting of a great sackcloth sail, and the demon Ka-Banda screamed loud enough to shake the walls. Warp fire gushed from the stump of the wing, and it shuddered in agony, a sensation it had only known previous from the cries of its enemies. With the whip still coiled around his neck, the angel dragged the spitting, wounded fiend to the lip of the pit of the middle of the chamber, then lifted it up so he could look him in the face. The demon cackled through the pain, convulsing as it tried to shriek free.
I will take your skull yet.
The Primarch's eyes flashed with a powerful hatred.
If you truly do hail from the realm that men once called hell,
He intoned.
when you return there, tell your kindred it was Sanguinius who threw you back.
And with a grunt of effort, the angel took hold of the beast and shoved it over the spiked edge. Kabanda's curses echoed all the way down before it finally vanished, shrieking into the warp flames. And there you have it, boys and girls. Again, if you guys like this story, I greatly encourage you guys to go ahead and read Fear to Tread. One of the best books I've read about 40k in a long time, especially since it does cover the awesome fight between the Primarch and a Bloodthirster. So with that being said, guys, hopefully you're enjoying your time with friends and family on this holiday season, and thanks for listening. As always, this has been the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Peace.